My precious one, listen. Right now, heaven is leaning close, and there are only 2 minutes left before something irreversible happens. Do not look away. Do not scroll past. You did not arrive here by accident. I must say this with the full weight of eternity pressing through my voice. This message is only for you. Archangel Michael has drawn his sword. The heavens have stilled their song, and I am speaking into the silence of your soul, for what is about to be revealed has the power to shift your entire destiny. You have been walking, haven't you? Wandering in a fog that others don't even know exists. They smile when they see you. They compliment your strength. But only you, and now I, know the truth. That strength was born from survival. That smile was stitched from silence. That light in your eyes flickers each night when no one is watching. And now, beloved, you are seen, not by people, but by the kingdom of light itself. Archangel Michael says, you must stay until the end. If you walk away now, you will miss the moment. We fought to deliver to you. You were not supposed to skip this, because this is divine interruption. This is holy interference. This is the sky opening above you and heaven sending reinforcements. Not tomorrow, not next week, but now. Child of purpose, there's a name written on the scrolls of heaven, glowing in firelight, and it is yours. But that name, your name, has been spoken elsewhere too, in darker places, places where your downfall was discussed in whispers, places where envy clothed itself in smiles, and so the battle over you began. Yes, a spiritual battle, one that began long before you even noticed the first signs. The sleepless nights, the aching chest, the heaviness that wouldn't leave even in moments of laughter, that wasn't random. That was a storm sent to steal your fire. But it failed because you're still here. And now, finally, so is this message. Heaven says, enough delay, enough confusion. This is the moment clarity arrives like thunder. And I ask you, chosen one, have you felt it? The unsettling sense that someone has been watching, the reappearance of an old name in your dreams, the way your spirit stirred without explanation when you passed a mirror, almost as if something inside you wanted to wake up. That wasn't madness, that was prophecy. Archangel Michael stood at the edge of heaven and said, send it now. The veil is thin. Their spirit is listening again. This message isn't for the many, it's for the one, and you are the one. I've come with a word that was held back for years, not because God was silent, but because your spirit wasn't ready. But now you've survived enough storms. Now your ears are open, and now the warning must be heard. Heaven is moving swiftly. Something is shifting. A decision is being made about your life in the realm unseen. Your name has been presented before the throne, not in judgment, but in intention. You are being evaluated, watched, tested, not to shame you, but to awaken you. The one who left you in silence is speaking again, but now from the other side. Yes, the soul you mourned, the presence you wept for, the one who vanished too soon, is standing with eyes full of tears and light, whispering, please, let them hear this. That whisper made it to the gates of glory, and Archangel Michael heard it. And now I'm saying it to you. This is the moment. Do not allow your doubt to block your destiny. If your chest feels tight right now, if tears are welling and you don't know why, if you feel seen and unsettled at the same time, that is divine recognition. It is the spiritual signature of truth reaching you, not truth in theory, but truth about you. The enemy has been working in silence through distractions, false peace, temporary pleasures, emotional fog, and now heaven says no more. You've seen the red flags, you've felt the unease, you've watched someone you trust morph into someone you barely recognize. That's not your imagination, that's your discernment, and it is being sharpened now. Child of light, the next 24 hours are not ordinary. There is a ripple coming, a moment disguised as coincidence. It may be a call, a memory, a phrase repeated by someone who doesn't even know why they said it. But you'll know, because your spirit will tremble, because heaven already marked that moment, because this message is the setup for that encounter. Type Amen if your soul says yes. Type 444 if your heart longs for clarity. Type 911 if your spirit needs urgent rescue. Do not mistake this for a performance. This is intercession. Someone who once loved you has stood in the fire of God's presence and pleaded for you. Let them hear it just once. And now the veil has lifted and the moment has come. Will you stay or will you scroll away and return to the noise? Archangel Michael warns, if they walk away now, the gate will close. But beloved, if you stay, if you breathe through the tears and feel every word, you will begin to remember what was always inside you. Because this message doesn't just tell you what is coming, it reminds you of what you've survived, and it affirms what you are still destined to become. So stay. There are 5 more messages that must reach you. Each one will lift a different veil. Each one will break a chain. Each one will show you why this moment was fought for by angels. You are being aligned, not in the future, but now. And those trembling hands of yours? They're not signs of fear. They're proof that heaven is here. You were chosen for this, and the next part will show you why. Are you ready? Then breathe, wipe the tear that just fell, and go to part 2, because what you hear next might explain everything. My beloved child, if you are still here, it means your spirit has remained open long enough for heaven to continue speaking. This is not the kind of message you hear and forget. This is not something meant to entertain or to pass the time. This is divine intelligence reaching for your soul. And I am commanded to say this with clarity. Your name has been spoken in the courts of heaven. Yes, you, while you were folding laundry, while you were crying quietly in your car so no one would see, while you smiled in public but broke in private. In those moments, especially those moments, your name was uttered in glory, and the light of God fell upon it. Archangel Michael says, there is a record, and it has been opened. This record is not about your failures. It is not a list of regrets or sins. No, this scroll carries the promises God spoke over you before your first breath. And now heaven is reviewing it, because the time has come. My child, there is a reason you have been feeling unsettled, a reason your dreams have turned strange, a reason old names and faces have resurfaced like shadows on your walls. It is because the enemy has realized what's about to happen for you, and he is afraid. He tried to delay you. He whispered lies to twist your identity. He sent people to confuse your love, to drain your light, to question your worth. But here you are, still listening, still standing. And now I must tell you this. The person who left you, the one who couldn't say goodbye in this world, they are standing in glory now, and they are watching this moment. They asked, Lord, please let them know they are not alone. Let them hear me through you, and so I speak, not as a stranger, but as the vessel through which heaven reaches you. You were not forgotten. You were not discarded. You were not mistaken. You were marked. You were chosen. And now you are being called forward. This is a holy transition, not loud, not public, but unmistakable. Michael says, the light is shifting, the door is creaking open, and the enemy is trembling. Yes, even now, there are forces trying to keep this message from sinking in. Distractions will arise, doubts will whisper. Your mind may even try to discredit what your spirit already knows. But I beg you, don't let go. Don't scroll. Don't silence the trembling that just passed through your chest. That was heaven confirming. If you feel something rising in you, type Amen to affirm your spirit is listening. If your eyes are misting, type 911, because this is urgent and sacred. Archangel Michael has fought long and hard to bring you here. You may not know how many traps were avoided on your behalf. You may not realize how many nights angels stood at the foot of your bed, defending your peace when your own heart was too tired to pray. But now they are rejoicing because you stayed. There is a person in your life, someone close. They are wearing a disguise, not of costume, but of intent. Their voice may sound soft. Their eyes may look kind, but their soul has been twisted by jealousy, and their presence in your life has been draining your alignment. They know more about you than they should. They study your movements. They mimic your light, but they are not. Of the light, Michael says, this person has been tolerated long enough. Their exposure begins now. And you, my beloved, you will begin to see with new eyes. A divine knowing is rising in your bones. An inner alertness that you once dismissed as overthinking will now become your compass. Do not fear. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. There will be a moment, soon, a conversation, a message, a delay that feels like an inconvenience, but it will be the proof you've been praying for. Heaven is not hiding from you. Heaven is hiding you until now, and what has been hidden will be revealed. Type 444 if you receive this divine protection. Say it aloud if your heart needs to hear your own voice again. You are not cursed. You are not too late. You are not unworthy of the blessing. The reason you have suffered so much is because of what's coming next. Michael says, the enemy only attacks what threatens him, and your awakening has sent a tremor through the shadows. Yes, you are that important. The people who overlooked you, the ones who betrayed you and moved on, the ones who laughed when you stayed quiet, they had no idea you were heaven's secret. But now they will see. In the next 3 days, there will be a shift. It may feel subtle, it may look strange, but something sacred is unfolding, a signal from heaven, a redirection, a quiet reversal of something that felt final. If you feel this word clinging to your spirit like a thread pulling you forward, then don't stop now. This is not the climax. This is the unraveling. Archangel Michael stands now with sword drawn, blocking the path of what meant to destroy you, and he says to you, stay the course. The miracle is ahead, but only if you walk the last mile in faith. Type yes if you believe the heavens still speak. Child of light, you are not here by chance. This isn't a scroll through random messages. This is the divine dispatch your soul has waited years for. You are more seen than you've ever known. And the one you loved, who now stands in eternal glory, they're smiling. They are whispering your name in the throne room even now, saying, they listened. They finally heard it. Thank you, Father. And heaven is responding, but the message isn't over. Not yet. There is more to say, more to show you, more to warn you of, and more to restore. So breathe, wipe the tears, let the light in. Part 3 is waiting, and what you hear next may explain why. Everything happened exactly as it did. My child, heaven is not finished speaking. In fact, what comes next may explain everything that's ever kept you awake at night. There are whispers echoing through the unseen, and those whispers carry a name the heavens will not allow to be forgotten. That name is yours, and that's why this moment exists. This isn't the middle of your story. This is the turn. This is the divine moment where truth interrupts illusion. Archangel Michael stands near you. His sword is drawn not to frighten you, but to divide light from darkness, truth from deception, protection from false peace. And I must say this clearly. There is someone in your life right now who has been sent to delay you. Their words may sound familiar. Their touch may feel safe. But behind the smile, there is a motive heaven has seen. Michael says, they are wearing a mask, and the time has come for it to fall. You have sensed it, haven't you? The strange tension, the way your spirit tightens when they enter the room, the thoughts you try to dismiss. It's just me overthinking, you say. But it's not. It is discernment. The Lord placed it in you. It's the very warning system that has kept you from walking into traps you never saw coming. And now that same voice is growing louder because the one who left, yes, the one in heaven now, has seen the snare, and they are crying out on your behalf. Father, please, let them see, let them choose truth over comfort. And so heaven responds. This message is the answer to a prayer you never knew was heard. The cry behind your tears, the ache inside your silence, the moment when you whispered, "If there's anyone up there, please just send me something real." This is that something. If your chest is tightening again, if your eyes are misting, if your heart is pounding without cause, it's because your soul is recognizing itself in this word. You are not lost. You are not forgotten. You are not broken. Beyond repair. No, you are the living proof that heaven still intervenes. Archangel Michael says, there is a scroll turning, a verdict being passed, and your name has been cleared in the heavens. They called you unstable. They called you dramatic. They said you overreacted, but heaven says you discerned correctly. You saw through the facade. You felt what they tried to hide. And now God is confirming it. Type 911 if you feel your spirit. Finally saying, yes, that's what it was. The delay in your life wasn't because you were lazy. It wasn't because you weren't good enough. It was because heaven was protecting you from premature exposure. There were rooms you could have entered, but you would have been devoured. There were offers that looked like blessings, but they were traps in disguise. And that's why things were slow. That's why some doors didn't open. That's why certain people disappeared. Not rejection, preservation. You've been carried, child, through fire, through storms, through betrayal, through confusion, and now the veil is lifting. Your dreams have been more vivid lately, names and faces from your past returning, conversations replaying in your mind. Do not ignore these signs. Heaven is arranging the puzzle, and Michael says, now is the time to understand what was once hidden. There is something you must see, something they didn't tell you, something they thought you would never discover. But you will, because your spirit has been granted divine clarity. Type 444. If you are ready to see through the fog. Now listen carefully. In the next 48 hours, someone will say something small. It might seem unimportant, a phrase, a question, a random statement, but it will echo in your chest like thunder because it will connect everything. Don't dismiss it, don't explain it away. Heaven speaks through the ordinary, disguised in timing. Your task is to listen. Your assignment is to remain aware. Michael says, there is a shift in your vision. What once felt like confusion will now feel like confirmation. You will see who is real. You will know who to trust. And most importantly, you will remember who you are, the person you were before the heartbreak, before the betrayal, before the silence. That person is not lost. They are being restored. Heaven didn't forget your laughter. The way you used to glow before life dimmed your flame. And now the flame is being reignited. You are entering a season of revelation, not just about others, but about yourself. You are stronger than they told you, more gifted than they allowed, more loved than you believed. And the one in heaven, the soul you miss, they know, they see it all now. They see how hard you tried, how deeply you loved, how bravely you forgave, how silently you suffered, and they are proud, not for perfection, but for endurance. Type Amen if your soul needs that reminder. My child, this is still not the end of the message. You have walked this far, and heaven is not done speaking. The next part holds the confirmation you didn't know you needed. It will show you why you felt different your entire life, why you never quite fit, and why every storm seemed personal, why your peace was so often under attack. Because you are not common. You are marked, and now the mark is glowing. Stay with me. Part 4 is calling, and in it, the enemy's final strategy will be revealed. Are you ready? Then breathe and take the next step, because you were never meant to stay in the shadows. My child, heaven is still watching, and the weight of this next word cannot be overstated, because what I am about to share is not only for your spirit's awakening, it is for your protection. Archangel Michael has drawn closer now. He does not come with softness this time. He comes with urgency, because something or someone has approached your peace with a silent threat, and you must be warned. Yes, beloved, this is no longer just about what was lost. This is now about what is being threatened, the one who pretended to care, the one who spoke gently, but walked with. Hidden knives, they are closer than you think, Michael says. The danger is not where you were looking, it's where you let your guard down. You trusted the wrong words. You opened a sacred part of yourself to someone who saw your vulnerability and chose to manipulate, not protect. But don't blame yourself. Don't fall into shame, because you were not weak. You were pure. And that purity is what they could not understand. My child, heaven heard the conversations spoken behind closed doors, words you were never meant to hear. But that carried your name. There were moments where your spirit stirred suddenly for no reason, where anxiety crept into your chest like a fog, where your dreams became tangled with confusion. That was not random. It was the Lord warning you. It was your soul's inner alarm. And now heaven confirms you were being spiritually monitored, studied, not out of love, but out of envy. Michael says, a counterfeit spirit is trying to take what was never theirs. They saw your light, they envied your clarity, and so they wore the face of friendship, of love, of loyalty. But all the while they were planning, yes, child, planning how to distract, how to delay, how to drain. But the plan will not succeed, because now the sword has been placed in the ground. Now the warning has arrived. If your spirit trembles as you read this, type amen, not as a ritual, but as a spiritual agreement with truth. This is not about fear. This is about discernment. You must awaken to what is standing beside you. There is a voice that speaks kindly, but their heart holds jealousy like a dagger. Behind their back, they study your joy, they mimic your confidence, they smile, but the smile does not reach the soul. Michael says, expose them not with revenge, but with clarity. You do not need to confront them. You only need to see, and once. You see, heaven will do the rest. But here is what you must know. A reversal is being released over your life. The energy that was drained will return. The favor that was blocked will be restored. The peace that was clouded will now burn brightly again. Type 444 if you are ready to. Claim what the enemy tried to steal, and know this, you were never fooled. You were spiritually targeted because the enemy saw something in you that even you didn't fully understand. You are a carrier of glory, a beacon of restoration. You are a living prophecy. And that's why you were opposed so quietly, so cleverly. But heaven has had enough. The records are being revealed, and the person who caused so much fog around your vision is now being removed, whether slowly or suddenly. You will feel it. A shift, a break in communication, an unexplained withdrawal. When it happens, do not chase, do not panic. Let it fall, because Archangel Michael has intervened. Michael says, I will not allow them to poison your next season. And now I must tell you this. In the next 24 hours, you may receive a message, a casual one, innocent on the surface. But something about it will not feel right. It will come with a strange peace that quickly turns into pressure. That is the counterfeit. Do not respond in fear, respond in silence. Let heaven speak first, and then watch what unfolds. You are being lifted, my child, higher than you've ever been. But first, weight must fall, the weight of false connection, the weight of pretend love, the weight of misplaced loyalty. Michael says, cut it, and you will soar. Your spiritual lungs are expanding again. Breath is returning to your soul. The tears you've cried have not been wasted. The silence you kept was not cowardice, it was strength. And now that silence is about to break with divine sound. Miracle is approaching, but listen, it cannot rest in poisoned soil. So let heaven pull up the roots, let go of what was never yours, and prepare for what is. Type yes if you believe that this next chapter will be different. Not because of luck, but because of obedience. You stayed, you listened, you did not skip, and because of that a gate is opening above you. My child, do you remember the whisper in the night, the voice that called your name just before sleep took you? That was not a dream, that was the one you lost, reaching through the veil again. They saw this moment in a vision. They asked heaven to allow them just one more connection, and this is it. They want you to know. You are not wrong, you are not behind. You are not forgotten. They see the steps you've taken, the way you try to be strong, the way you love so hard and hide so much. They are with you, smiling now, because they know you heard them, and that hearing, it has unlocked something in the spirit. Michael says, the final seal is breaking. Get ready for truth to flow like a river. Child, there is more, so much more. What comes in part 5 will not only explain your storm, it will show you the strategy of heaven that protected you the entire time. You were not wandering, you were being redirected. So breathe. Let this word rest in your soul. And when you are ready, step into part 5, because the revelation is about to begin. My beloved child, there is a reason the air around you has felt heavier lately. There is a reason you've been waking in the middle of the night, wondering why your chest feels like it's holding something too sacred to explain. You have been sensing a change, a movement, a weight that is not entirely yours, but still pressing down on your shoulders. And now heaven speaks again, not to burden you further, but to reveal what has been hidden. Michael says, this is not the beginning of the shift. It is the result of prayers spoken long ago finally being answered. You may have thought God was silent, that nothing was moving, but behind the veil, a war has been raging, not for your money, not for your success, but for your direction, because whoever controls your next step, controls your next season. That is why your mind has been under attack. That is why confusion came uninvited. That is why the same old temptations returned, wearing new clothes and softer words. Michael says, the enemy does not need to destroy you if he can just distract you. And that is what has been happening. But child, God did not bring you this far just to leave you spinning. He is not the author of confusion. He is the author of divine reversal. And now he is bringing your feet back to the narrow path. Listen to me. If your heart is heavy right now, it's because your spirit is trying to remember the promise, the one whispered to you when you were young, the one you saw in dreams before the world made you doubt, the one that kept showing up in your thoughts when you least expected it. Yes, in that one, it was never gone. It was covered by sorrow, by fear, by delay. But now the covering is lifting. Archangel Michael says, they buried you with disappointment, but God planted you in prophecy. You are rising, even if you don't feel it yet. Even if everything around you looks the same, your roots are shifting, your foundation is cracking open, not to collapse, but to release the light beneath your life. You are not being broken, you are being unsealed. If your soul agrees, type yes right now, because what comes next must be received fully. There is someone you've been missing, someone who left this earth too soon, someone whose absence has echoed in your quiet moments, the songs you can't listen to anymore, the smells that bring back memories like waves. They are still with you, and they have been interceding for you. They saw something coming. Before they passed, they saw a glimpse, a warning, a flicker of what would try to block your breakthrough, and now they are shouting from glory. Tell them, please tell them, do not ignore what their soul is trying to say. Child, the fog you've been living under, the heaviness, the hesitation, the pull toward the past, was not just emotion. It was warfare. The enemy wanted you to forget the truth. But heaven never stopped whispering. Michael says, there is still time, but only if they stay awake. Now listen very closely. In the next 3 days, you will be given a choice. Not a dramatic one, not something the world would notice, but a private decision, a silent agreement your soul will be invited to make. It may be a conversation, a return of someone from your past, a message you didn't expect. Whatever form it takes, you must test it, not with fear, but with peace. The presence of God is never manipulative, never rushed, never unclear. If something arrives and you feel torn, anxious, or doubting your own voice, step back. Because Michael says, what appears as a second chance may be a second trap. Child, this next part is holy, because it is the moment your tears will make sense. Yes, even the ones you cried years ago, the ones you forgot, the ones you tried to swallow because no one understood them. Heaven did. And those tears were seeds, and those seeds are now blooming, even in places of pain. That's why the enemy has tried so hard to resurrect your old wounds, because your garden is growing, and he can smell the harvest. Type 444 if you believe your restoration is already taking root, and listen. The one you loved, the one who never got to say what they needed to say before they passed. They are watching. They've seen how you survived without closure, how you kept smiling even when your chest felt empty, how you kept giving even when your hands were tired. And they are proud, not for perfection, but for endurance, for faith, for the fact that you kept going when it would have been easier to give up. They've asked God to let you feel their presence, to send you a sign. And so I say this, in the next 48 hours, you may hear a familiar voice in a dream. You may feel a breeze in a still room. You may catch a scent that hasn't been around in years. That is not imagination. That is reassurance. Michael says, let them know they are not walking alone anymore. You are surrounded, protected, seen, but you must not ignore the signs. You must not explain away the knowing, because this next moment of clarity will require your full attention. Heaven has already moved. The shift is happening. And soon, the evidence will arrive. A letter, a phone call, a conversation that makes your stomach turn without explanation. And when it does, pause. Let your spirit answer before your mind does. Child, you are not who you used to be. You are not that scared version of yourself anymore. You have been refined, rebuilt, reminded, and now released. The chain is breaking. The fog is lifting. The delay is ending. This is the part where the promise becomes visible. Michael says, tell them the truth will not be hidden any longer. So hold steady. Part 6 will carry the final word, and it will explain why everything tried to stop you from getting this far. You made it, and now the reward begins. My child, heaven has waited for you to arrive at this final moment. You may think this is just the end of a message, but it's not. This is the turning point your soul has been crying out for. Archangel Michael stands beside you, sword lowered, but spirit alert. Because now is the time truth must settle, not just into your ears, but into your bones. You were never meant to be forgotten. You were never created to be average. You were marked, and that mark has been glowing even in the dark seasons. Michael says, their endurance has reached heaven. Now their reward begins. Child, this is why the past months felt like fog. This is why you've sensed something following you. It wasn't your imagination. It was a spirit sent to confuse, to delay, to copy your light. But it cannot go further, because now you've seen, now you've heard, now you've awakened. Type amen if you receive this awareness. There is someone who has tried to stay close to you, not to protect your peace, but to feed from it. They smiled, they agreed, they said the right things, but their spirit was not clean. Michael says, you are no longer deceived. That tightness in your chest, that moment of sudden silence in the middle of a conversation, that wasn't awkwardness, that was discernment. And you listened. You passed a test, child, and heaven is honoring that clarity. Type 444 if you accept divine protection. You may have lost people, missed chances, even questioned God. But the losses weren't punishment, they were preparation, because what's coming cannot rest on unstable ground. And now your foundation has been purified. The one you miss, the one who never got to say goodbye, they are still near. They've watched you hold on when no one else did. They've whispered your name in glory. They've asked heaven, let them feel me again. Just once, and now you do. In the next 24 to 72 hours, expect a sign, a message, a memory, a silence that speaks louder than words. That's the veil lifting. That's the signal. You've stepped into alignment. Type 111 if your soul says yes. Child, heaven is not finished, but a chapter has closed, a battle has ended, a verdict has been passed. You are not cursed. You are not behind. You are not what they said you were. You are the fulfillment of a promise spoken before you were born. Michael says, now they will walk in light. The darkness has lost its claim, so breathe, don't rush, let this moment land. This is not an emotional wave. This is not motivation. This is a spiritual commissioning. You are being sent forward, not just to survive, but to restore. And this time, you will not walk alone. Angels have been stationed. Your atmosphere is guarded and your name has been cleared in the heavenlies. Type yes to step forward in faith. Child, this message was not just heard, it was received. The one who loved you is rejoicing now. Heaven is rejoicing, and the enemy, he is silenced. Because you didn't scroll, you didn't retreat, you stayed, and for that you are now stepping into something new. This is not the end, this is the beginning. Now go, heaven is with you.